Colts at Chiefs.
I like the over 50.5. It's the two most efficient offenses in the NFL, and the Colts are off a bye, so you know Shane Steichen's going to have some tricks. No two teams have punted less in the NFL than the Colts and the Chiefs. And the Colts and their opponents are averaging 53 a game, so I'm just going to take the over here. And their defense in back-to-back games is a little banged up, is giving up over 25 a game. The Chiefs average 29 at home. Mahomes has played much better at home, and Kansas City is desperate. Don't be shocked if the Chiefs don't have their performance of the year off that Denver loss. I'm taking the over. I think it's a close game. Kansas City wins 28-24. Take the over 50.5 points.
All right, let's dive into this matchup. I want to focus on the game itself, not the point spread or the over-under. The prediction from Colin Cowherd is that the Kansas City Chiefs will defeat the Indianapolis Colts. I'll be honest, I hadn't even fully considered the Colts coming off their bye week. This contest has the potential to be an absolutely electrifying, high-stakes affair. It could genuinely be one of those unforgettable classic games. And here's the crucial part. The outcome isn't primarily contingent on the Kansas City Chiefs. The entire weight of this narrative rests on the shoulders of the Indianapolis Colts. If the Indianapolis Colts demonstrate that they are, in fact, a legitimately great football team, and if Daniel Jones proves he can elevate his game, and let's be clear, this is essentially Daniel Jones's first playoff-caliber test with this Colts roster, then we have a truly compelling story. This is the game. If the Indianapolis Colts manage to defeat the Chiefs, I fully understand that Kansas City hasn't been their dominant selves, but I still hold them in higher regard than many, with a tremendous amount of respect for their core. So, if Daniel Jones wins this game, performs at an elite level, and if Shane Steichen unveils some of the strategic tricks we know he has in his playbook, and if this Colts defense, bolstered by their recent moves, can elevate its play and disrupt Kansas City's rhythm, my takeaway won't simply be that the Chiefs weren't good enough. While there will undoubtedly be elements of that narrative, I would be far more impressed by the Colts' accomplishment. Unless, of course, Patrick Mahomes has a complete meltdown, fumbling the ball, throwing egregious interceptions, and single-handedly derailing his team, which would naturally shift the conversation. But barring that, my focus will be squarely on Indianapolis, proving they are for real. It will be fascinating, because some will inevitably try to diminish the victory by saying, well, Indianapolis didn't beat a good team. They beat the Chiefs, and the Chiefs aren't that good anymore. I still maintain that the Kansas City Chiefs, irrespective of their record, are a brutally difficult opponent to face. So, for this up-and-coming Colts team to go on the road and secure a win, my goodness, I cannot wait to watch this game. This is precisely why I hope, and I know Chiefs fans will vehemently disagree with me here, that the Colts can bring their absolute best. Because that is what transforms this from a potential blowout into a compelling, must-watch event. Conversely, I can also envision the exact opposite scenario. The Colts completely collapsing. A performance reminiscent of their game against the Pittsburgh Steelers, but with an even more pronounced disparity. The Chiefs' offense could explode for points, while the Colts sputters, resulting in a contest that feels over by halftime. That's what has been so engaging about watching the Chiefs recently. Yes, I know they've been coming up short, but these games matter. You genuinely feel that the Chiefs are in legitimate trouble, and that uncertainty is what makes it so thrilling. I completely understand that Chiefs fans do not share this sentiment, and I get it. But from a neutral perspective, that's what makes it fun. That's the essence of drama. What's boring about watching a TV show or a movie? It's when you know, without a shadow of a doubt, that nothing bad will happen to the main character. You're just going through the motions, confident that Thor will be fine, or that Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible will inevitably save the day. It can become predictable. That's why a show like Game of Thrones was so intensely gripping. You truly felt that any character could be gone in an instant. A game like this, in years past, would have been a foregone conclusion. Chiefs versus Colts? This one's over. You'd half watch it, glancing at the score occasionally, maybe noting that it was somewhat close, and thinking, I guess the Colts are making it interesting, before the Chiefs ultimately pulled away in the same old fashion. There were only a handful of games where you'd think, all right, how is this actually going to unfold? What's the story here? Now, we have a game like this with the Colts. That's why I'm placing the entire onus on Indianapolis, not Kansas City. I don't believe the Chiefs are going to play poorly. If they lose, I won't simply conclude that the Chiefs are not good. My assessment will be, no, they lost to a good team. They lost to another good team. The issue this season isn't that the Chiefs are bad. It's that they no longer possess that significant separation from the rest of the pack that they once enjoyed. They are not able to consistently win these close games. Now, let's explore a more extreme, albeit unlikely, scenario. What if the Chiefs get blown out? I'm not predicting this in the slightest, but let's play it out. Suppose they lose by 2 touchdowns in a game where you're left scratching your head thinking, how did this just happen? It would be similar to that regular season game last year between the Ravens and the Bills, where the score was lopsided and the entire broadcast was consumed with questions like, what is wrong with this Kansas City Chiefs team? Patrick Mahomes just doesn't look like the quarterback we've known. This is unfamiliar territory. And the narrative would swiftly pivot to, how about these Colts? A lot of people question Daniel Jones and Shane Steichen, and they look foolish now as Indianapolis sits atop the AFC, with a genuine chance to win the division and conference. If something that jarring were to occur, it would force a major reckoning. How do we reconcile that with my stance that the Chiefs aren't a bad team, they've just lost their separation? Why then are they not only failing to win close games, but also getting blown out by teams that, on paper, should be within striking distance? It's not as if the Bills, Broncos, or Colts are clearly head and shoulders better. The Chiefs are right there in the mix. So the question becomes, why can't they find a way through? Is the ability to win close games truly a sustainable skill? Or is it more of a numbers game? Sometimes a team goes on a streak where they win 8 out of 10 close contests. Other times, the ball just doesn't bounce their way. It's possible there's a lot more luck involved than anyone wants to acknowledge. Consider Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings a couple of seasons ago. I believe it was the year before his Achilles injury, the season they lost to Daniel Jones and the Giants in the playoffs. They won a remarkable number of one-score games. Was that a repeatable skill? Or were they just hot from the three-point line, so to speak? If a basketball player goes 8 for 10 from three-point range, does that make them an 80% shooter for life? Of course not. It doesn't mean they're terrible either. It just means that sometimes variance plays a massive role, and we might be over-indexing on data that isn't as predictive as we think. This game presents a multitude of questions that need answering. That's what makes it so incredibly exciting to me. I know the predominant focus is on Kansas City, what they can do, what answers they can provide. They desperately need this win, arguably more than the Colts do. But from my perspective, this game is fundamentally about one thing. Are the Indianapolis Colts for real? If the Colts win, I will see it as them definitively answering that question with a resounding yes. If they lose, barring a complete blowout, it could still be a positive indicator. If they were able to hang with the Chiefs, fight until the final whistle, and contend on a real level, if Daniel Jones was making big throws, stepping up in crucial moments, and the team was executing great play calls and getting key defensive stops, then you'd have to view their performance as legitimate, not just a fluke or a product of an ugly, weird game. Colin predicts a Chiefs victory in a 1 p.m. game, which is funny because this matchup feels like a primetime spectacle. It has the intensity of a playoff game, and I believe the Chiefs will treat it as such. That's precisely why I'm putting the pressure on the Colts. How do you perform in this environment? How do you respond to the challenge posed by this Chiefs team, even in their current state? The answers will tell us everything we need to know. Those are my comprehensive thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. What is your perspective on the Kansas City Chiefs facing the Indianapolis Colts, especially with Colin's prediction of a 28-24 Chiefs win? Let me know your opinions in the comment section below. I read every single comment, so whether you find yourself in agreement with me or you think I'm completely off base, let me know. We can get into some lively discussions. We can engage in some spirited debates. But ultimately, let's remember to have some fun with it all. Please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to have you as a part of it. I want to build something that we all feel genuinely connected to, something we're truly excited and proud to be involved in. I believe we are well on our way to achieving that. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it genuinely helps with the visibility and the platform's algorithm. Thank you so much for watching.